Well, Happy New Year, everybody. This is Ken Winans and Stephanie Larson from Winans Investments, and we hope that you managed to have a relatively good holiday season in spite of everything going on with COVID and just the general separation of everything. So as we promised, we'd give you a New Year's video of where we're at on everything. And first off, reports went out on Saturday. We think you will all be generally very happy. As a money manager, I'm always happy when strategies work according to plan. I can't be happier with the way that the strategy worked and that the team behind it in the implementation, including this young lady sitting next to me. I mean, it makes a big difference. I would ask you, Stephanie and I put out a lot of research at the very tail end of last year. There were 3 Forbes articles that went out. And then Stephanie did a lot of research. I would encourage you to go back and read those articles because even in light of everything that's happening right now in Washington, the opinions we had in those research pieces have not changed at all. And I would say that I am pulling out my book. I know many of you have a copy of Investment Atlas, and I am also going through the historical lessons that I wrote about a decade ago. And I talked a lot about the 1970s, and I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd be looking at the chapter on Watergate, but I am. I've been studying it and going back to look at how stocks, bonds, and housing acted during that era. But again, what I guess I'd like to say is that, look, 2021 is not going to be an easy year. It's going to have its own set of challenges. It will be different than 2020. You know, eyes are open now. We're more prepared for volatility and things like that. But there's going to be things going on. And all I would suggest, you've put your trust in us to manage your money. We do that every day. We do it on the weekends. Stephanie and I are talking all the time.
All the time.
Let us manage your portfolio. And for those of you who are getting scared again, that you think we're going to have another big correction like we had last March, I just would encourage you that, look, we've already had these discussions, but if you do give us an order to liquidate or to do something radical, I would ask you to take a moment to think about when would you reinvest. Because I had these same conversations with people right after 9/11. I had these same conversations with people when we went into Iraq. And usually the people who override our expertise end up making a mistake, and they usually are very late getting back into the market. Stephanie, you want to add anything?
Yeah, as a general rule, we try not to politicize the portfolios. We understand what's going on right now in the country, whether throughout the year it was Black Lives Matter protests or what happened at the Capitol last week or COVID or just, there's a lot going on. We fully acknowledge that, and we understand people's concerns, but we use research in the market and technicals and experience to really be our guide. And like I said, we just don't try to politicize the portfolios. There's a lot of what ifs, like this could happen or that could happen, but until it does, we don't need to make wholesale changes. We don't want to. We will act, of course. We have an extensive risk management protocol, which we enacted in March, successfully, might I add, which is part of the reason why the portfolios have done so well this year. Let us handle that concern. No, we literally watch it all day long, talk about it every single day, and we're prepared to do what we need to do to manage the monies. And I know that requires a lot of trust, and I've hoped that we've earned that trust over the years. Especially, I know a lot of clients have been with Ken for a very long time. So, if you want to talk about it, happy to discuss it, but I wouldn't worry yourself too much. I know people really are keeping themselves up at night about what's going on with the new administration and what could happen. Let's see what happens. Let's take a deep breath, okay?
I like that, or chill, as they say. For those of you who like to drink good California red wines, it might be a good time to pop open a really good bottle of it. But in serious note, what would be a very constructive conversation to have for many of you who are interested, I asked you all to refrain from making asset allocation changes last year until we finish the year. If you want to change the mix of your portfolio between stocks, bonds, cash, this is not a bad time to have those discussions. I would ask you to review your reports. If you want to set up a time to talk with Stephanie, myself, and Amy, if it's portfolio administration matters about your portfolio, this is an ideal time to think about those things. I would say that I would not be surprised. I talk about 2021 having its challenges. I made a reference to it in Forbes. I am concerned that with the liquidity that the central banks around the world have been producing to keep everything going, that at some time there will be an inflationary counter effect to that. And that is something that we're already working out strategies to contain. Just as it was in the 1970s, you had to change your tactics. You could not use what you used in the 1960s to make money in the 1970s, just as what you used to make money in the 1990s and the 2000s is not necessarily going to work going forward. So just be aware that we're aware of these things and we're making it. So it's time for us to end the video, but I thought you would all have a humorous note, or give you a humorous note. We now have a company mascot. This last weekend, I thought it would be nice to get a dog, so I went up to the German Shepherd Rescue area north of us in Windsor, and I adopted a 3-year-old German Shepherd who you probably hear barking in the background, but we are all having a good laugh. Anya is keeping us laughing each and every day as we all get a little too serious. So if you do come by the office, I'm sure you'll see her and she'll give you lots of licks. So anyway, listen folks, I hope you try to have a good winter, and we will try to give you another video as earnings come out over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. All right, speak to you soon. Thanks, guys.